Alright, hope everyone's doing wonderful today. Today what I got in store is me going over another keyword and ability for the card game Magic the Gathering, and today that ability or keyword is going to be Foretell. This is a newer one, and I thought it'd be a great time to do a video on it. I love to put out content like this to help new players or any players with any questions of the rules or games, just because this is one of my favorite games of all time, and if I can put out something that helps people or helps them get into the game or helps them understand it, I am all for it. So let me know if this helps you in any way. But today we're going to be going over the ability Foretell. I have a very simple board state set up, just like an island, a forest, a plains, and a swamp, just because it looks pretty. We're going to pretend like I have a Balduvian Bears on my side, just a creature, and we're going to pretend my opponent has a Shivan Dragon on their side, a creature as well, a big old creature. So to understand the ability Foretell, let's go ahead and read one of them. One thing I will point out is there is different kind of speeds for them, and by speeds I mean like this is instant speed spells and this is sorcery speed spells. So you're going to have to pay attention when you're able to actually play these spells. Just like any other spell in the game. So just keep that in mind. Some Foretell spells are instant speed or sorcery, and so on and so forth. So just keep in mind for that. But let's go ahead and read the ability itself. If you notice, it says Foretell, and to the right of it, there's always going to be some sort of cost. So this card right here is 1 blue, this card right here is 1 green, and this card right here is 1 blue. So just keep in mind it's going to say Foretell and the cost next to it. Let's just read what it does. It says, during your turn, so you only can do it on your turn, you may pay 2 of any color. You can do any combination of any mana color as long as it's 2 mana. And exile this card from your hand face down. So you pay 2, you exile this card face down. And then it says, cast it on a later turn for its Foretell cost. So pretty much, you pay 2, I pay 2, it's my turn, I'm exiling face down, and then let's just read this one. Cast it on a later turn for its Foretell cost. So that means you can't do it the same turn you exile it. It has to be a later turn. So either the next turn, your opponent's turn, if it's an instant speed, or if it's a sorcery speed, it has to be your next turn. So just keep in mind, if you're doing the Foretell, you can't pay the 2 and exile it and then do the actual Foretell spell in the same turn. It has to be separated. It breaks up the casting cost of the spell into 2 turns, which is kind of cool, and we'll kind of explain that as well. But let's just say I tap my 2 mana. I met the requirement for paying 2, and then I exile this card from my hand face down, and then I can cast it on a later turn for its Foretell cost. So this is now exiled, and the cool thing about this is pretty much like another card in my hand, except I'm not having it in my hand. So that means I have 2 cards in my hand right here, but this is almost like a third, I would say. So let's just say my opponent went, it's their turn, they decide to do nothing, they pass it on to me, now it's my turn. It's my untap, my upkeep, and then I draw. So now I have 3 cards in my hands, but with the exiled Foretell spell, it's almost like a 4th card. And let's just say I want to actually use the spell now. It's been a whole nother cycle of turns. I'm able to use the spell, and I know the Foretell cost for this is blue. And the reason why we exile this card face down is because we do not want our opponent to know what card this is, because this could be anything, and we do not want them to know. We don't want them to be prepared or expecting that we're about to take their dragon and return it to their hand. So I know that my Foretell cost for this, for Depart the Realm, is 1 blue. So it's my turn. It's an instant speed. I'm going to play it whenever I'd like. I'm going to go ahead and tap my blue, flip the card over, and let them know that I'm going to be playing this for its Foretell cost, and I'm going to be doing it on their Shivan Dragon, and I'm going to be bouncing their Shivan Dragon back to the hand. So what this card does, it says return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand, and I'm bouncing the Shivan Dragon back to their hand. Now the board is free, and I'm able to attack my Balduvian Bears. So that was a very kind of simplistic example of how the Foretell ability works. One reason why the Foretell ability is pretty cool is you can get out spells a little bit earlier, or actually pay a little bit less for them. So for example, let's just say I have only 2 mana out on the battlefield. I only have 2 mana on the battlefield, but I really want to play this 3 mana spell, and I don't have any mana in my hand, and I'm worried that I won't get a mana next turn. How can I play this spell with only 2 mana? But luckily this Foretell ability will help you do that. So let's just say it's my turn 2, I played my land, I'm going to tap for the 2 right there. Now this is exiled and is ready to be cast later on the next turn. So next turn, it's my next turn. I untap my stuff. I only have 2 mana still, but I'm able to play this spell that would normally cost me 3 mana, which is pretty cool. So I would tap it, and then I would give the target creature +4/+4 till end of turn. So it's pretty cool. I do like the Foretell ability. It's pretty cool. I like that it actually takes cards from your hands and kind of puts them in a separate pile that you can use later. So it kind of adds cards to your hand. You can kind of have 7 cards in your hand and a bunch in the Foretell, and it's not going to really make you discard or anything. So I do like that. It kind of extends your hands. And I do like that it's able to help you get out spells a little bit sooner. It breaks up the casting cost of these spells into 2 turns. So real quick recap. Foretell, it's always going to say Foretell and a cost next to it. And then the Foretell ability is during your upkeep you pay 2. So you pay 2, you exile the card face down. You don't want to show your opponent so they don't know what it is. And then later, on a later turn, you can't do it the same turn. You put it on the field. So let's just say I had 3 mana and I tap 2 and I play this and I have a free green right there. I can play this for the Foretell, but I can't because it was the same turn that I exiled it. So I have to wait another turn till I'm able to actually tap it and use it for its Foretell cost. So just keep that in mind. You do have to break it up into 2 turns. You can't do it in one unless you just play it for its regular casting cost. But yeah, I hope that this was of help to some of you. I hope that this makes sense. Let me know if you have any questions about any of the rules or anything like that. I'd love to help you to the best of my abilities. And I just want to say thanks for stopping by. Keep on keeping on, and I'll catch you all in the next one.